This week, we're going to be taking a look at the Ghost Crew from Star Wars Rebels. Yes, all 7 figures from the Rebels line, because there is only 7. Technically, there should be 8. Actually, there is 8. 2 of them are Chopper, so no, I'm not counting the original release. But there technically is a 9th one, which was the Season 3 variation of Ezra, but that's in the Ahsoka line for some reason. And this Chopper here was not in the Ahsoka line, despite being released alongside mostly Ahsoka figures. It's a weird thing to explain, but there's 7 main releases at this point for it. These are a variety of figures. The only one that I have that's a red and black box release is Kanan, as you might be able to tell by his messed up face, but my Ahsoka also has a messed up face. But we'll get to that. We're going to take a look at these guys, and let's just get into the review. And for our final review of the Week of Rebellion, we have Kanan Jarrus, my 1 black and red box release, which, yeah, it's fine. There's the picture. He is number 19, and he has, of course, words on the back, which can't really read because of a giant light. That is fine. He is odd. As I mentioned throughout a little bit of the reviews, Kanan here is an odd one. He's the most expensive figure of the bunch other than Zeb. Because, again, Zeb is deluxe. I'm going to kind of have his little price increase, of course. It's going to happen. But Kanan is odd. The red and black box release is so much cheaper. It's like $20 cheaper than the purple box release. Again, face is a little wonky, but that's because of that. The other one has face scan tech. As you've seen, it helped a couple figures like Sabine, who looked absolutely hideous in her initial release, but they fixed it. And Kanan, well, they probably fixed it too, but I don't really care about this one because it was the cheapest one. And then after a week of waiting, it took like 2 weeks to get here, one pops up with the red and black box Ezra for the same price I paid for just this guy. And I was like, damn it. And I was kind of hoping this one didn't come because it was kind of getting to the point where I could have just looked for the refund because it was taking so long, and this is a whole thing. Or I could have got the one that came with the K2SO. He was the last one to arrive. Thus, also was the last component of my Star Wars wall. Weirdly enough, he was the last one to go on it. There will be swap outs, though. I'm going to swap some out. But he was the last one to arrive, the last one for the wall. And as far as Kanan goes, good figure. Honestly, real good. Design-wise, he, of course, has his little green shirt going on with that kind of beige color. The right arm's a lot cooler, though, with the armor. I've always liked that he has, like, an armored right arm for some reason, but the left's just a shirt. Just a regular combat shirt. And then he basically has the equivalent of blue jeans on down there. Has a belt. Torso's all right with the strap, but that's essentially him. I mean, a little bit of combat gear, but not a ton of it. It's a little odd. He, of course, has 2 accessories, one of which being his pistol, because, yes, he carries a pistol because he was a Jedi in hiding, and he didn't often break out his lightsaber. The pistol is not super hard to get in his hand, but for some reason is giving me trouble. There we are. And there we have that. Droopy barrel. But it's one of those weird ones, the kind of like flared end. Is it like a laser sight, maybe? I don't know. It's a cool pistol, you know. It's a typical pistol. I'm pretty sure it's his accurate one. Has a bit of gunmetal to it. Has a bit of a sheen. Looks pretty alright, honestly. It's a nice thing to have. And then, of course, his other accessory is his lightsaber, which is a bit unique, similar to Ezra's. Now, Ezra's is a gun, but this one has a unique feature to emulate something from the show. So the saber itself looks real good. Look at that. There's not really a ton of paint on it. It's mostly just silver. There's a bit of gunmetal back here. Does have a loop. No belt hook, though. So weird. The blade is actually the same as the Ahsoka. That little kind of acorn shape. Because, as I mentioned, they came out at the same time. That's why I brought him in with the Ahsoka to compare the saber, like the blade width. Because it made no sense that Ahsoka had such thin blades and he didn't when they came out in the same wave. It makes no sense. But the saber does something from the first couple episodes, which is you can split it into 2 and stow it on his belt. because the big reveal was Kanan was indeed a Jedi. He pulls out the saber. He has it in 2 parts on his belt. And again, I wouldn't think that that's a lightsaber. This kind of looks like the thing they keep the thermal detonators in. And this kind of looks like a comm unit or something. That's what I would think it is. So that's kind of nice. It's just kind of a hidden lightsaber. But again, why is there a loop on the end if there's no hook to put it anywhere? And when putting it back together, make sure the pegs are lined up. That's how you know which way it goes on. Again, that goes on really good. Glad it's one of those ones, because this is one you kind of want to take the blade off. But it being 2 pieces ends up this thing being real bendy, real gummy feeling compared to other lightsabers. So that's a bit of a shame, but not the worst. Again, just to have it come apart and everything like that, that's nice. And, I mean, as far as everything goes, let's get to that articulation, which is all right. Does have the hinged head up there. There we go. I didn't mention this either. He has a little bit of red strands going through his hair, which is interesting. Forward and back, outward, elbow joint, swivel, in, out, up, down on the other side. And the shoulder over here is a bit more restricted due to the shoulder pad. The torso, again, no forward and back, but there is a good rotation. Forward, back at the leg, outward. Thigh swivel does not function. Knee joint's pretty good. Forward tilt, back tilt, and an inward and outward. So all right in the articulation. Pretty standard for an old figure, as I mentioned. He's number 19. That's real early. Like, that's real early in the lineup. So that kind of makes sense that he's a bit more archaic, I guess, comparatively to, like, say, Zeb, who I'm pretty sure is the late figure. Like, the difference between these guys is light years. Like, the things they do differently is insane. But, again, he's an original release, so it's kind of hard for me to go, oh, this is, like, you know, whatever. We're going to be getting a new one. Apparently, according to leaks, they do have the masked Kanan for when he's blind, and that's my favorite design of Kanan. So I will be picking it up. I will be. It might even replace this guy up there, because as I mentioned, I do have Season 3 Ezra, so that's cool. Probably going to end up picking up the Sabine, too, because she's pretty close to the Season 4 coloration from the Ahsoka series. But, yeah, that is essentially that. That is Kanan. And let's just get the whole group in here to get the whole final thoughts going with everybody. Because Kanan is pretty alright. And so for my final thoughts on the entire Star Wars Rebels Black Series line, I think it's good. There's some spotty points, but there's a lot of good in here as well. As far as the ratings of each go, dead last is Ezra. The hips are a killer. Hera is after him in 6th because she's just kind of boring. She just doesn't do anything. After that, in 7th, is going Chopper. I enjoy Chopper. There's just not a lot you can do with an astromech droid. That's him in 5th. And then in 4th, we're going to put Sabine. Again, helmet's a little annoying. 3rd is going to be Kanan. Number 1 and 2 is very iffy. It's between Ahsoka and Zeb. And I'm going to give Zeb 2 and Ahsoka 1. Zeb is really good. Don't get me wrong. He's really, really good. But Ahsoka is just... she lives up to the expectations I have, honestly. So that's good. And I mean, as a group, they're pretty good. I mean, like I said, a bit spotty in areas, but I don't think you'd be too disappointed in this crew. It's one you kind of need. Again, try to get the purple box releases if you can, because he does look a little wonky in comparison, but that is besides the point. Doesn't look too bad, I guess. But that is essentially them. They're a pretty solid group, and, well, I hope you enjoyed the Week of Rebellion for Star Wars Rebels. This has been Eltile Delete signing out.